Hello everybody, I am WolfX Killer, and today, what we are going to be talking about is Storytime 4. So, in this Storytime, it's going to be talking about a lot of things that can actually really happen to anybody. And the sad part is, one thing in this world, no one really thinks, or really thinks about it really hard for many people, is one thing. And what the thing is a lot of times when we grow up in this world, we are choose to, we could be an innocent person that's, a good person to trust anybody because, we're that person that some people can take that trust. A lot of people can. And the thing is, you're kind of gambling one thing in your life. It's yours. And today, that kind of happened with mine. But to let you guys know, I thought about it before I wanted to even think about doing it. I should have listened to my gut more than I should have just said, oh yeah, sure, I would love to take a ride to my house. Yes, totally. I should have just said, no, I'm fine, I want to walk home. But no, I said yes. So, I walked a bit from work because to tell you how it went beforehand. So, I was working that day and I was doing pretty good. I was getting kind of slow. Then I eventually got told by my manager, hey, the same type of thing, like normal, to do what you need to do and just head out because there's really nothing for me to do there anymore. So it's alright, do what I normally do. Did it, and I was, gonna walk home and let you guys know it was raining. It was pissing down, pretty bad, but it wasn't such a shitty day that it was raining and raining and raining. It was just that day it was raining pretty hard in some sections, then it was just stop. It was pissing down when I was walking across this area that was grass section. And it was pretty pissing down. But before we get to that part there's this big giant building that has, any place might have it. It's a big giant long ass thing that can have tons of businesses in it, all that stuff. Hell, it could have a pizza place, places that will give people to get high from or whatever the fuck. Not really good places, but it's a small little place for, something. But it's just, I was walking past that place a little bit because I was getting to the end point like I always normally do. And there's this place that is at the very end that has kid stuff for any people that are having, kids in the future or, having something. It's just a lot of kid stuff in that place. Because out in the front it has a lot of stuff you got, baby carriers or, or the strollers and all that stuff, or, some stuff like that that's just sitting out in the front all the time there. And probably not all the time, but I just know when I see it in a day, there's just shit sitting there. But that's how it always is. But so I'm getting kind of near there and I'm past that point almost. But before I get there, there's this old guy that's just picking up his clothes. I'm watching him. He drops one accidentally. He goes down and gets it and picks it up. And I kind of walk by and give him a look just like this. And he looks back at me for just a split second. And I just go on my merry way and walk. Keep on going on and going on. The dude doesn't think to himself okay, I got all these clothes. I'm just going to go back to do whatever I'm doing. He came out of his way to come back into, come to me. So when I'm going across that area that I was talking about before, walking across the, big giant area that was grass and it was pissed down raining. Alright, so the grass area and everything I was at, and I was crossing over when it was pissed down raining and everything. So I get past that point, I keep on going, cross the road, and then I get onto the other side of it. So I was crossing, then I make it to the other side. I'm just walking, I'm like, I just want to look over to the right of me. I look over to the right, dude's just driving by, and it's the same dude I stared at for just a split second. Takes his car, he's driving, then he turns and comes close to me. He just rolls down his window. Well, it's still down, and he's like, hey, do you need a ride to get where you're going? Because it's raining. It wasn't really such a shitty day. It wasn't really that bad. It could have been much more a shitty day of raining, but it was not one of those days. And I did not want to go into that car. I really didn't, but my gut was saying no. But then my mind was just like, you know what, I want to say yes. I went into the car, got in. I was kind of regretting it before I was even tempted to get into this car. I get in, sit down, put the seatbelt on, and just kind of sat there, and I was more yapping more than anything to keep the dude occupied for long as I could to get where I need to go, and I'm safe. That's the only thing I was thinking in my mind when I got in the car. Because I'm just kind of like shitting my pants at this point. Because I don't know what this dude wants to do, or if he's actually going to be, serious of taking me where he said. Like, if you need to take a ride, here. But he didn't be a dick at the time, beforehand. But when we were going, and I'm giving him the directions and everything to go, and he would just be really awkward some things, and how he's just sounding, and just a bit about things. It was a little awkward. Just awkward as like any person would be. He seemed just really weird and creepy to me. He just did. It's just, I just kept talking to him about things, but I didn't go too personal on my part. Like, super down. Like, I didn't talk about like anything that personal. I tried to keep it, just kind of straightforward, simple things. Nothing too far like that, like of anything. But I was like, I know when we were talking to each other, I know he was like, saying like, oh well, like you're very like very soaked, because he like touches my jacket on this side, my shoulder, because he takes his hand, just puts it there. He's like, oh wow, you're soaked. I'm like, okay, buddy, I've been through worse. Like anybody's been through worse, but I've been through worse. I can understand a lot of people have been through a lot. Anyone has. I just kind of said that to him just to be like, straight up honest. I've been through worse. After I say that and everything, we're still talking. He's still getting me where I need to go. Well, they were getting really almost like nearly close to my house. Nothing was really like, far that weird like he did to me. But it was just like, I felt really off on this guy, because the whole time when he, when you started going and driving, he was not mostly focusing on the road the most. He was like focusing the road like 50% and staring at me 50% of the time when he was driving, when I was in the car. So not even paying attention to the road whatsoever was just making me very off, because I didn't want to stare back at him at all. Like I could stare at him like not too long ago. When you're in the car with somebody that you don't really know, you don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. In a day, if he was a bad guy, I don't know what he would do. But when he got me to my house at my destination, where I needed to go, when I was just wanting to just give him a fist bump, not touch his fucking hand, he was like, Incy want a handshake. I didn't want anyone to touch his hand. Because I don't know what this dude wanted or what he was going to do to me. I didn't trust him 100% at all. I didn't trust him at all. There's no point in me trusting this guy whatsoever. But I kind of gave him a handshake just a little bit, and Incy got out of the car, and I was like, yeah, I appreciate the ride and everything, thank you, And I just got the hell out of the car, kind of fast as possible, and just got back in the house. But the sad part is, I didn't have my key on me that day. So I had to call my dad about that. And that's how that happened. And the thing is, here's the thing. One thing as a person, like anybody that is, a person that can trust and really trust anybody to be your friend, or quote unquote someone that could hey, can you do this for me and take me there? Can you put that 100% trust in that person? That's a big iffy because you don't know them. You don't know what their intentions are or what they're going to do to you. So you never know what someone would do. End of the day, you should really think about it really hard, because some people in this world could be pretty crooked people and you don't know that. I took a gamble of my life that day, and here I am still to talk about it. Nothing happened to me, but if you think about it, if something happened to me, or that person was going to do something to me, I could have done something. If he was going to do something totally different, let's say as an example, if he was like, hey, I want to give you a ride if you need to get somewhere. As an example, when he says all that, hey, I can give you a ride where, you need to go. And I got in, and then he just going in such a different direction with me. I would kind of instantly say something hey, I thought you were going to take me where I need to go. Because the thing is, you could still do something against that person if they're trying to do something to you or kidnap you or anything in that time, or what they're going to do to you. Because there's got to be something you can do to protect yourself in some way. You can do. I know I didn't protect myself at all, but I did the simple thing to a person. Not hurting them, not doing nothing. I got in the car with the stranger. Okay. Big flag. That is a big flag at that point. It's a big flag no to go on. If my parents were there, they would say hell no. Because my parents. But I said yes to a stranger. But the thing is, what I did that was different, maybe some other person would do the same thing. I was talking to the stranger a lot. Yeah, I was stopped because I was, checking the corner of my eye to see what he was just doing. He was just mostly looking at me. Just staring at me. It was very weird. And the thing is, I haven't seen that guy in a long while now. After that happened. I think it's been mostly a week. I haven't seen that guy. I'm kind of glad I haven't, because I don't want to see that guy. Because I don't know what he would want to do with me. I don't know. Because there's a lot of things you could do against somebody without hurting them. But if they're going to put harm on you, you have to do something to protect yourself. If that ever happens to anybody. That happens to you. There's something you should try to do to protect yourself of whatever you want to do at that time, and just take you away, and no one knows where you went at all. If no one knows where you went, someone kidnapped you. It's kind of simply like a kid. A kid can't really, fight back because they're too small and they're too weak. For a person my age, I'm in around my 20s. That's all I'm gonna say. But it's kind of odd for an older dude to be like, hey, I could just give you a ride, and you don't expect it to be okay, yeah, that wouldn't be so bad, just two grown up people, want to help out each other, randomly. Never trust it. Just never do it, because the other thing is what you could do. You can just say no, but always watch your six and watch your surroundings. You just need to watch yourself, because you don't know what people will do. You can't really trust anybody in this world. You don't know what they will do, because people are people. People will do cruel things in the world we live in, because the world revolves around crazy psychopath people And there's really nothing much you can really do for them or about them. But only thing you could really do against them is just protect yourself in any way you can. Safely, so you won't get your hands in other ways of, like, you know, getting punished for something you did in the end of it. If you guys made it this far, hell yeah. But do not forget to give this video a like and comment down below how would you guys, you know, prevent this shit, or you would just say no, you wouldn't take no rides or anything with some person at all, or this would happen to you, or anything that would happen by, you know, getting a ride from a random person or kidnapped. One of the two. Some things can always happen, and it's random, and kidnapping is still in this day and age, and it's probably even worser and worser by day by day. I know there's a lot of kidnappings where I live, and it's crazy. And there's people that are adults and they will just kidnap kids, and it's nuts in this world. You just can't trust anybody that you do not know. If you do know somebody, you can put the trust in that person because they are someone you can't trust. I know I've been talking about a little too much anyway of a lot of things, but I hope you guys 100% enjoyed this video, much of the story as well. But I hope you guys do not forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications for any more of my content down the line. It'll be coming out in the near future for you guys to enjoy of anything that comes out. I will catch you guys all around, and I love you guys, the Wolfpack Army gang. You're my army and my gang. We are family. All of us are family. We don't fight alone. But stay well, stay safe. Goodbye.